What is up, everybody? This is Jack T here, and today it's Wednesday, which means I promise you guys that I'll be trying to make some vlogs and stuff like that for you guys. So today I actually decided that we should kind of talk about a topic that I think is kind of misrepresented within the car community, and that is just us as a car community itself, and like what's wrong with that. I feel like we as a people don't really decide and talk about what's kind of wrong with our community. We just know it exists. And the thing that I think is really bad and what's wrong with the car community is the fact that there's just way too much hate within it. And by that I mean, like, usually within the car community there's usually like different types of people, different people who are into different things in cars. There's the people who are into muscle cars, there's the people into the Japanese market, into the foreign market, sure, but besides that, there's also like subgroups, like, you know, there's people who are into drifting, there are people who are just into show cars. I've realized that we can't get along. A lot of us can't get along, and that, to me, I feel like that sucks, because at the end of the day, really the only people that we have that we could talk about cars with is other people who are also into cars. Now, I've met some people who may not be into the same exact type of cars that I am, or the same way that I'm into cars, but I've realized that sometimes they know more about cars than I do. And just because their car may not be something that I completely love or something that I would drive, that doesn't mean that they know any less about cars than I do or that anybody else does. Have you guys ever been to car shows and stuff? I don't know, I haven't really noticed this at car shows. I've usually noticed this more on social media and places like that. But I think that we shouldn't do stuff like this. We shouldn't be against each other in any way, because at the end of the day, you know, a whole lot of people don't like cars, and by that I mean like loud cars, just modifying cars. There's a whole lot of laws and a whole lot of people that would rather us keep our cars completely and totally stock. And what sucks is that there's people out there, there's people who are in the same community as us, there's people who enjoy the same things as us, and we can't get along. It's like just a people thing, just human behavior. Like, we always try to find that we're better than others, but honestly I think it's something that we shouldn't be deciding who's better than anybody else or why my car is faster, but we should just enjoy it for what it is, and the fact that we're all into cars together. I, for one, like, I drive a Mustang, and I know Mustangs get a lot of hate, but at the end of the day, I love a lot of cars besides Mustangs. I really love Subarus. I'm very much into the whole JDM market, as well as like Euro cars, like BMWs, cars of that nature. But no one will ever find that out, because nobody ever wants to talk to cars about long enough without insulting each other, just because I may not drive a WRX or I may not drive a 335i. Me and my friends, for the most part, were pretty accepting of everybody. Of course, you could crack jokes. The point isn't to be completely like stale and angry about everything. You're supposed to have a kind of a sense of humor, but at the end of the day, how much is too much, you know? Like, you can only have so much of a sense of humor, and you can only say so much bad things about somebody else's car before it gets too far. I've met people in my life where they've been into cars that are completely against. I've met people who are very much into Civics, and originally I judged them, and I sat in the cars, I'm like, you know, this is something that he put his heart and passion into, and this is something that he made. It may not be the car that I would want to drive or a car that I would drive, but it's a car that he feels the same way about that I feel about my car. And I think that's something that should be said about a lot of people, that it's not always about what the car does or what kind of community the car is into, but just what kind of heart and effort the car has been in, you know? It's a passion at the end of the day. There's not many people who share this passion, and people who share this passion understand what it means to kind of put your heart and soul into a car. You know, if you've ever gotten into an accident, you realize that you may not always be thinking about you originally. The first thing you might think about might be, oh shit, my car, you know? And true, that's not the correct way to think, but then, you know, you realize that, oh, I'm okay, you know, it's okay, the car will be fixed. But the car is something that you have an attachment to, and that's something that not everybody has. You know, there's people who have like really expensive cars who may not know everything about the cars that they drive, but they share a passion about the cars. They like the cars that they drive, and at the end of the day, that's the only thing that should really matter, is how much you like your own car. Oh my god, it's a dip. LA is terrible with dips, just on a side note, because my car is on stock suspension, and if you know what Mustang stock suspension, it's like a damn monster truck. But some of these dips are bad enough where I scream. So I feel bad for all you lowered bros out there. Like, look, but there's another dip right here. To slow down and take it at an angle, or else my entire car is gonna be messed up. But yeah, there's people who are like that. They're people who just really love to stance their cars out, and while that's not something that's going to be effective everywhere, that's something that they love to do. And whenever they turn on their cars in the morning, they feel happy knowing that they drive their car. I have friends of mine who have Civics who want to do engine swaps and stuff like that, and their cars are stick shift and mine's are automatic. And we try not to hate on each other. We understand that, you know, especially at a younger age, there's a lot of circumstances that are out of your control. What kind of car you could buy, what you could do to the car. So I feel like, I know I'm kind of ranting at this point, but I feel like we as a people should accept each other. I know this is starting to sound kind of corny and kind of just long at this point, but we should understand each other, and we should try to accept that there's people who like different cars, and there's cars that are made for different things. There's people who just really love to have show cars, and we shouldn't hate on each other, regardless if you like what they've done to their car or not. You know, stating an opinion is never a bad thing. Stating like, hey, you know, like I personally wouldn't put those rims on my car, that's something else. But then saying, oh, your rims are disgusting or your rims suck, that's completely different. You know, there's a difference between stating an opinion, and there's a difference between just outwardly hating on somebody, because hate is something that's just going to cause more hate. And then once you insult that guy, then he's going to turn around and be like, what car did you drive? And it's just going to be a huge fight. Why would you even want to fight? Well, you guys are both sharing the same passion, and it's just something that I've seen a lot, and I just wanted to talk about, and that's where this entire video came up with. Told you guys that I kind of like to talk, and I kind of go off on rants sometimes. So this is probably the first rant that I wanted to do, is just the car community, because it's something I feel like should be talked about, but isn't talked about as much as I wish it was. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, as you can tell when I go on a rant, I kind of start rambling on and on. If you guys enjoy these type of videos, you know, let me know in the comments below and leave a thumbs up. This has been Jack T. You know, wait for Friday's video. What's coming on Friday is something special, so wait for that. This has been Jack T. I'll see you guys on Friday.